Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man, and it's time to make some soap. And today I'm going to be experimenting in a couple of ways. First of all, I'm going to use my Workshop Heritage loaf mold. I don't use this one very often because one, I have to line it, and two, it makes bars that are too big. But what I do is they're nice and tall, so I make the loaf and then I cut it in half, and it still is a nice size bar. And I cut it thicker too. What I have never done with this mold is to put piping on top. I'm going to attempt it. So I'm going to attempt 4 layers across the top and then one more on top of that. And then when the log is split in half, it will have, each bar will have $3. I think you understand what I mean. I'm going to try some colors I don't use very often. This is Brambleberry's Hydrated Chrome Green. I rarely use this. And I'm going to do an in the pot swirl with that, with white accents. I'm going to use Flash Dance from Mad Micah's in the pot swirl with white, but I'm going to put just a tiny bit of black in that to darken it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to have a black layer with activated charcoal and white as the accent. So those will be my 3 in the pot swirl layers. I'm not sure if I'm going to texture them or leave them flat. It's going to kind of depend on how the batter behaves. I'm going to use Midnight Waters from Brambleberries. Haven't used this in a while. It's been close to a year since I used it. And it's a really complex smell. I can't even really begin to describe it. It's just one, if you have smelled it, you'll understand what I mean. It accelerates just a little bit, but it shouldn't be an issue. So that's why I said I'm not sure if I'm going to do textured layers or flat layers. It depends on how the batter goes. And I think that's enough talk. I'm doing the heat transfer method, so as soon as I get everything mixed up and cooled down and split up, I will be back. Okay, I'm back and I'm ready, so I'm going to do the first layer, and the first layer is going to be the Flash Dance that has a little bit of activated charcoal to darken it just a little. So let me go ahead and stir that in just as it is. Like usual, my batter's only been hand stirred, so I have all the other batches set and ready, and I should have plenty of time to work since nothing's been stick blended. And I mean just a tiny splash of activated charcoal. Yeah, that's good. And let's get our titanium dioxide into this one. The other 2 layers, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to pour. Since I haven't used this fragrance in a while and I know it accelerates just a little, I'm going to hand stir it. Everything looks good, and I'm going to do a quick pour, so it's looking good. Very good, it's really thin. A little thinner than I like for it in the pot. But let's get into the mold and not risk it. This is a terrible, terrible job lining on this mold. If you'd seen me trying to wrap a Christmas present, you'd understand. But it's lined, and that's the main thing. It won't leak. So here we go. Yeah, that's really thin. I think we're going to have smooth layers, flat layers. Yeah, that'll have to sit quite a while, so I'll be back when I'm ready for the next layer, and I'll just bring you back when I'm ready to pour it. Okay, I'm ready for our black layer. That took several minutes to set up, so this fragrance is behaving just fine, hand stirring it. I'll end up stick blending it into the frosting, so I'm not here till midnight waiting for it to set up. Alright, that'll be several minutes, so I'll be back and we'll do the top layer, the hydrated chrome green, and I'll see you in just a minute. Alright, here's our final layer before I start the frosting. I goofed. I went ahead and put the green into this and forgot to pour off some white, so I went ahead and put some white into it, but this is going to be a green and an off light green in the pot, so oh well. In the whole soap it may not really show. We'll know tomorrow. So I'm going to let that set up and mix up the frosting. In the frosting, I'm going to do a two-tone black and white. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I have enough frosting to do the whole soap, so I'm going to pipe half of it just to make sure I have at least half, and that'll give me an idea the next time I do this, because I've never piped in this mold before. So I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, I'm back and it's time to cut our soap, and the pour went actually fairly well, except on the top I forgot to pour off some green to make the white, so I just made sort of a very light green. Other than that, the pour went really well. Love this color theme. Obviously the piping did not, and I had such a pretty top, but when I scraped the piping off it kind of messed it up. So one time I think that has happened to me, the piping, two different colors set up at different rates. And I've used titanium dioxide with micas, and I've never had an issue with that before, but I did this time. The white was really hard and the black was gelatinous and wouldn't hold its shape. So the piping was not lost. I just poured it into a mold and got some thick chunky ones. I'll just use these for myself. So I have 1, 2, 4 nice thick chunky bars. That was the frosting I'll use myself. So it's not a waste. I'm not worried about it. So let's just cut these and see what they look like. And I think they're going to look really nice inside. Oh yeah, they do. Even the top part, you can barely tell that that's not white. Yeah, I like that. Nice smooth lines because the fragrance behaved really well. Yeah, I like that. Very nice. And I think this fragrance kind of suits this color pattern really well. It's hard to describe, but I have used it and it's really strong and it really holds a nice strong scent. So I like it and I had no performance issues with it at all. So other than the piping not going well, I'm really happy with this. Other than that, everything turned out really well. I'm really pleased with this. So I'm going to still call it a success, and the piping was not lost because I got that in and I'll use those myself. And that's what I have this week. So like always, stay safe, take good care of yourselves, and be blessed. And thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.